The Bearcats are back in the Sunshine State this weekend to take on UCF on Saturday, a highly anticipated conference matchup that is sure to be a must-watch. Let's get into it. I'm Regan, and this is your 2-minute warning. Coach started by reflecting on last week's game against SMU, saying, "Winning is the ultimate goal, and finding ways to win is what us looks like this year. Consistency will be key, less self-inflicting issues, so we don't find ourselves in situations that are draining."
And for us to grow, we've got to recognize that, and we got to find ways to be able to make some of those things not a kind of an Achilles heel and something that's kind of holding us back. And I don't mean just holding us back. There's going to be things, but it can get draining. It can get that emotional drain. When those situations come up, you get a pick to maybe kind of seal the game, and got a PI or something connected to it that just makes you have to go back and go again and again and again. And at some point in time, those things obviously catch up with you.
Last week, Cincinnati didn't fare too well in the red zone, going 0 for 5, but Coach didn't seem too worried, even mentioning that they gained some confidence in their kicker, Ryan Coe, as a little silver lining. Later mentioning Mason Fletcher, saying he is a weapon to this team. In terms of UCF, Coach Fickle says their quarterback is going to be uniquely different than anyone they have faced in terms of a running quarterback, but he hopes the last 8 weeks have prepared them for any situation.
They'll do some things a little bit different. They'll adjust some things, obviously, like they do, because they're really good coaches and players. But you know who the players are on their team, and the offense is going to run through him. Whether he's running a football, he's scrambling around, or he's making things happen with his feet and his arm. I think the entire first 7 games, help prepare you for whatever it is that you're going to see. Might be a little bit different. Might not be as many, shots down the field that we had prepared for last week. But if you neglect to prepare for those things, that's where some of their biggest plays have come as well. So I think the whole picture of it, the entire year, from what we faced in week 1 to this past week, is what helps us grow and be able to adapt and put a plan in place.
This game will be the first true challenge the Bearcats will have faced since week 1 against Arkansas. And while UCF is a really good football team, they are even better at home. This is going to be a hostile environment, and I think they are going to make sure of that.
It's huge to me because if I kind of go back to always what starts it, right? And in year 1, I'm not saying it was a bit of a rivalry, but all I remember is that game, and whether it was called because of the weather or it was called because of anything else, the reality is it was called, and it wasn't a game. And so whether it's become a rivalry because they were the champs and then we ended up knocking them off a couple years ago, all rivalries are created differently. But to me, any team that has beaten us, any team that has embarrassed us like they did in year 1, that was something that will never go away from me. So in my own mind and my own heart, it's been a rivalry since then. But I would say I've got quite a few of those with anybody that's beaten us.
Still no word on Tyler Scott, but Coach says he hopes to see him out there this weekend. You can catch the Bearcats at 3:30 on ESPN. I'm Regan, and that was your 2-minute warning.